Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Approach 1 full year of COVID restrictions, there's new data confirming that a baby boom that some doctors and, for that matter, comedians expected is actually turning out to be a major baby bust. Health departments in 27 states provided records to CBSNews.com, and they show a 7% drop in births in December. That would be 9 months after the first lockdowns began, and it could be just the beginning. Researchers say it matches a much bigger plunge in fertility that is decades in the making. The number of babies the average woman is expected to deliver in her lifetime has dropped from nearly 4 in the 1950s to less than 2 today. And that could present an entirely different threat to society as we know it than we were first warned about decades ago.
The stakes in this battle are far greater than any other we have ever fought.
In the 1960s and 70s, an apocalyptic fear gripped America.
The experts we interviewed told us population was the fundamental crisis.
As the world stampeded toward 10 billion people, many researchers predicted that overpopulation would ruin us.
Sometime in the next 15 years, the end will come. And by the end, I mean an utter breakdown of the capacity of the planet to support humanity.
But these days, a very different note from researchers like USC professor Dal Myers, who studies demographic trends.
The trouble is that we overshot. We dropped it down too much now.
While the global population is still growing, a major study last summer predicted it'll actually peak in 2064 and then fall by nearly 1 billion people by the end of the century. The reason? Fewer babies. Here in the U.S., in fact, we're already below the so-called replacement level by some measures, and that means fewer young people to support our otherwise aging population.
That's a crisis. We need to have enough working-age people to carry the load of these seniors who deserve their retirement. They deserve all their entitlements, and they're going to live out another 30 years. Nobody in the history of the globe has had so many older people to deal with.
And the pandemic is only making this problem worse, despite some early jokes that more families staying home together might mean more babies.
And we thought, we would see a baby boom, but we just haven't seen it.
Dr. David Jaspin is chair of the Department of Gynecology and Obstetrics at Einstein Medical Center in Philadelphia. He says patients are worried about not only their health, but their finances.
So you're hearing more people ask you about contraception and fewer people say, we're thinking about trying.
That's absolutely true. I get a report every morning at 5:15 about what has happened in the last 24 hours. And the first report that I see is the number of deliveries in the last 24 hours. It's less than it used to be.
The question now is, how low will it go? The Brookings Institution has predicted a large, lasting baby bust of at least 300,000 fewer children in 2021.
We are on the precipice, at the very least, of not having enough children to replace our population.
And so what? I mean,
all right. She's right. So what? You know, it's people like her that's having this problem. She's right about that. So what? Oh, y'all, I don't like the fact that they're showing a lot of old footage in this updated story, but I guess it is what it is, right? So first, I want to thank I think it's LaTanya Astarte Jones and Donza Lee. Thank you, because all of you sent me this story, and I know more people did, but you were kind of like the first three. And this is CBS, March 3rd, 2021. So they are saying, initially when COVID struck and everybody went into lockdown, they thought it was going to be more babies coming. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I was doing research, and this is a global phenomenon. This is not just happening here in the US. There are many nations around the globe, especially European nations, Western Hemisphere, that are just simply not reproducing. Even during COVID, they're not reproducing. So what they thought was going to be a baby boom, it is just not happening. And chances are it won't happen at all in this stage of the game. And I think they have to realize that, you know, it was quite a traumatic thing for people to be on lockdown, and usually when people are going through a trauma or a loss, because a lot of people lost jobs, they ain't gonna try to go home and have no children and they don't have no job. Most people are just not going to do that. Japan has been doing exceptionally bad. That's another place. And this is also in Canada and Mexico, believe it or not. They have a low birth rate going on there, and much of South America. It's going on everywhere. But, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think. I'm not surprised. I'm not. And I know many of our people are still having babies. I mean, I go out and I still see pregnant Black women. So I know our women are still giving birth, but not all women, ladies and gentlemen. And this is and it's very obvious. Now that is significant. Since the beginning of the pandemic, a 7% drop. Wow. Yeah, they're right. You're not going to have enough people in the young group to even support the elderly, and usually that's how it was. They would retire, but it would be a lot of young people out here working. In fact, they are complaining about a worker shortage. There are many places out here. If you go online and type worker shortage, there are a lot of places in this country that don't have enough employees. But please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.